I'm so excited because today I'm going to share with you how I healed my own gut. It was a long journey. I also find that not everyone's journey is this long. When I share a little bit about my health journey and my healing process, you'll probably understand why mine is a little bit longer than the rest of them. But through this healing process, I became so passionate about holistic health that I became a holistic health practitioner, an integrative nutrition health coach, and a yoga teacher so that I could properly help more women heal their digestive issues and their symptoms, because I know firsthand how distracting our digestive health can be when it's not good to our lives. We're really taken out of the present moment, and we are constantly worrying about what we're going to eat, how we're going to feel, and we don't need that. We want to live really joyful present lives. And so today I'm going to share with you how I personally healed my own gut. And I know that some of these tips and tricks will help you on your healing journey too. So before we dive into the how-to, I just want to give you a little bit of background about my own digestive healing journey, my own gut health journey. So if you don't know a ton about holistic health, that is totally okay. At its core, holistic health is caring for the whole person. So basically this means that our physical health, our mental health, our emotional well-being, our relationships, our career, our social life, all of these things are connected, and they all play a role in how healthy and well we are. So if one thing is lacking, that can start a domino effect. So we want to stay really, really balanced, and this is something that really, really is close to my heart because I'm always striving for balance. That is why my name is Abby Well Balanced on all my social platforms. I am a Libra, so I have always been about balance. Let's dive a little bit deeper into my personal gut health story and how my gut became a huge disaster and pain in my ass. So as a kid, I definitely took a ton of antibiotics. I had strep a lot. You know, in the 90s and early 2000s, there wasn't a ton of talk about gut health, so we didn't know that these antibiotics were also killing the good bugs in our gut, and that was gonna play a role in many things in our lives. And I don't think that's really totally what caused the really debilitating issues, or actually I know it's not what caused the really debilitating issues with my gut health. In college, I was going through something very traumatic, and it was really, really emotionally hard on me. I had to go to court to get a restraining order against someone that I had never dated or anything, and that was really hard for me, and it caused a lot of anxiety and panic attacks, and I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't eating, and that was just really, really emotionally stressful on my body. And at the time I didn't realize that how much that emotional stress could affect my health. However, through that really traumatic time, I found yoga, and I fell in love with yoga, and yoga opened up my eyes to this world of holistic health. Now I'm a yoga teacher because I loved it so much, and it really helped me start seeing that healing was possible. Trauma lives in our body, so even though I went to therapy and I was taking medication for my anxiety and my panic attacks at the time, and I was really working hard to get through this period of my life, that emotional stress was still sitting in my body, causing me, a lot of physical pain, I think, without me really realizing it. Then I was doing pretty well. College was fun again. And then I went to Cancun on spring break, and I got E. coli, and that really destroyed my gut. Again, I had no idea how pathogenic bacteria like E. coli could really just completely destroy your gut. There is such thing as post-infection IBS, and I had no idea about that either, but I was on really strong antibiotics for that, and yeah, that was bad. Honestly, I don't think I really recovered from that for a while. Then, after college, I got a job, and things were going great. until they weren't. So I was experiencing extreme bloating issues, like totally 9 months pregnant distension every single day. I started getting acne, I started getting eczema on my hands and under my eyes and like random patches on my face. I had really bad heartburn and acid reflux where when I would go to bed at night, acid would just like be basically up in my mouth. I was chronically constipated. I just had so many symptoms and I could not figure out what was wrong with me. So I started going to doctors and doctors and doctors. I was diagnosed with IBS, and at the time I really didn't love that diagnosis, and I still don't. I think IBS is kind of an umbrella diagnosis, and something was pushing me to keep fighting and trying to figure out what was really wrong with me. Now that I know a little bit more about IBS, makes sense, the diagnosis, because IBS can be a disconnect from our digestive system and our nervous system. And I think that was definitely also going on because of my emotional stresses in college and things. Intuitively, I felt like I needed to keep trying to figure out what was going on. So I saw a naturopath, and I was diagnosed with tons of food allergies and food sensitivities. So from the food allergy standpoint, I was given an EpiPen, and I was allergic to nuts, peanuts, and soy. And then from the food sensitivity standpoint, I was sensitive to gluten, dairy, and eggs. I had candida, which causes a lot of issues as well. I was getting treated for the candida, and I removed my food triggers. I still wasn't feeling well, so I kept fighting. I ended up getting diagnosed with chronic Lyme disease. Untreated Lyme disease in the body can wreak havoc on the gut. Everybody's symptoms are different, but me personally, I had terrible gut issues. So when I finally found the right treatment program for my specific health issues, that's when my health really took a turn. So I was seeing an integrative nurse practitioner who helped me heal my gut, boost my immune system, and then we killed off some of the Lyme. Lyme never actually goes away. But working with my whole body to get my whole body functioning optimally and reducing the inflammation is what ultimately put me into remission from my Lyme disease, helped my body heal, and healed my gut and eliminated my digestive issues. Now that I've kind of told you what my whole health journey is, let's get into how I specifically healed my gut. And these are also some of the key points that I help my private clients with in my coaching practice. I'm gonna break down exactly what I did to heal my gut in no particular order, but these are just some main things that I did that really helped me. And I'm not going to start with food because I know everyone thinks that when they're bloated and they have digestive issues and IBS, it's all about the food. And that is not true. So let's start talking about the other things first, and then we'll dive into food. First and most importantly is managing your stress and anxiety. I can't emphasize this enough. We need to be taking care of our mental and emotional health. Research is coming out that IBS is actually a disconnect between the digestive system and the nervous system. So managing your stress and anxiety is a really good way to start reducing those IBS symptoms. I'm telling you, it works like a charm in company with all these other things. I know you're not going to hear this one because everyone says it, but I meditated more. This helped me a ton. It's in my daily routine. I do it in the morning. I do 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe a longer breathwork class. It doesn't matter. I get it in and I do what I can. I incorporated more movement into my day, but less intense exercise. I'm gonna repeat that again. I incorporated more movement into my day, but less intense exercise. So intense exercise heightens our cortisol, which is our stress hormone. So that's adding more stress to our body. So if you're constantly doing really intense 1 hour, 45-minute, whatever workouts, you are producing cortisol. So we want to reduce cortisol, and we want movement to be a source of stress relief. So for me, that looked like walking a ton. I'm getting 10,000 steps or more a day. And then I usually do some sort of other exercise, whether that's yoga or Pilates, I love. And then occasionally I'll do something a little more intense. Like I love my Peloton, or maybe a shorter hit or a strength training. But I usually keep those about 20 to 30 minutes. I also connected more to myself. I got to know who I was. I connected to my intuition, and I put my faith in the universe, and God, and whatever your spiritual higher power is. That is what you should lean in towards. Healing is not always a physical journey. It's also a spiritual and emotional healing journey too. Connecting back to that source energy, to my intuition, to my higher self, to the universe, to God, that really, really helped me through my journey, and I'm forever grateful. I became more aware and more mindful about the role of alcohol in my life. Alcohol is not gut friendly, and so I took a deep look at how alcohol was playing a role in my life. So in college, and even a few years after college, I definitely would drink a good amount on the weekends, and that's not the healthiest way, especially if you are someone that has a sensitive digestive system and are suffering with digestive issues. So the body deserves to be treated well all the time. So for me now, I just mindfully drink occasionally. Honestly, it's like once a month. But whatever that looks like for you, just take a look. I became more intentional with who I spent my time with and who I wanted to spend my time with. And when we're healing, we want our vibrations to be higher, because that's where that healing vibration is. Also being more intentional with your words and your judgments, or just try to stop judging altogether. Judgment Detox by Gabby Bernstein. Yes, I'm getting a little woo-woo metaphysical here, but I'm telling you how I healed my gut, and this is it. We went all natural. We want to get rid of all those nasty chemicals, toxins, dyes, everything. All those things disrupt our microbiome. They disrupt our endocrine system. I started using clean beauty products, skincare products, hair care products. I don't use over-the-counter medications. I literally have to be dying to take an Advil. That happened recently. I really threw out my back and I couldn't walk, so I did take an Advil. I survived. I take lots of natural remedies for anything that's bothering me. You want to go natural. I ditched diets. Diet culture is a big no-no. Diets leave us hungry, and they can lead to eating disorders and binging, and letting go of diets and nourishing yourself, mindfully giving your body what it really needs, which is those nutrients, the carbohydrates, the fats, the protein. We need all of it to really, really important. I also want to share with you some books that I read that crush it. Eat Dirt by Dr. Josh Axe. The Good Gut by Justin and Erica Sonnenberg. I have my books here because I wouldn't be able to remember the authors. Intuitive Eating by Elise Reich and Evelyn Tribble. I'm butchering these names, but Intuitive Eating, it's like the first hit on Amazon. I like the Intuitive Eating workbook. Fiber Fueled by Dr. Will B. The Universe Has Your Back by Gabby Bernstein. Super Attractor by Gabby Bernstein. And I mentioned that other one, Judgment Detox by Gabby Bernstein. Women Code by Elisa Vitti. And then Body Love by Kelly LeVeque. I love this book. It taught me how to fuel my body properly and helped me fall in love with carbohydrates and healthy fats again. Okay, now let's move on to nutrition, which is probably why you're here. I really like to emphasize mindful eating and listening to your own body, and knowing that everything that I eat might not work for you. We're focusing on a whole food diet. That means it doesn't come in a package, and it comes as it is. which is crazy. I know. I personally, when I started down this journey and I had all those all those food sensitivities, I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna eat? Everything has soy in it. You know what doesn't have soy in it? Whole freaking foods. Learned how to fuel my body without boxes and plastic packaging. Especially at the beginning of your gut health journey, cooking a lot of food from home is going to make a huge difference on your gut health. During the healing process, I focused, and still do to this day, on a plant-centric diet. So that's basically a plant-based diet, and then I eat animal protein a few times a week because that's what makes me feel my healthiest. That might look different to you. So that looks like lots of vegetables, lots of leafy greens, squashes, potatoes. Sweet potatoes are a superfood. I freaking love them. Fruits are amazing. I love them. Want to fill our cart with a lot of things from the produce section. Herbs are great. Spices are great. Getting those whole foods into your cart. Then you can eat whole grains, so especially those gluten-free grains like quinoa, buckwheat, gluten-free oats, things like that. Now, depending on the person, oats can be tolerated, not oats. Grains can be tolerated. Some people, they can't. I actually did take them out, gluten-free and gluten grains, for a little bit of time, and I think it did help me. Moving to legumes, nuts and seeds are great sources of protein and healthy fats. We have our organic chicken, our free-range chicken, our grass-fed beef. We want these really high-quality animal proteins if you're eating them, because they are better for you. So focusing on healthy fats. So healthy fats look like avocado, olive oil, coconut oil, grass-fed butter, olives, I love. Then if you start getting things that come from boxes, you have to look at the ingredients list, because what is marketed to you on the front of that bag or the front of that box can be very deceiving. Processed foods and packaged foods are filled with sugars and toxins and chemicals and things that are really just not healthy for our bodies, but especially not healthy for our gut. Sugar is very inflammatory, and we just don't want to be adding a ton of it even by accident while we're healing our gut. So it's in everything. So you just have to be careful and look at what you're eating. Oils that we want to stay away from that are very inflammatory are those industrial seed oils. So soybean oil, canola oil, corn oil. Want to make sure we're eating to balance our blood sugar. This helped me a ton. So that looks like getting adequate amounts of carbohydrates, focusing on complex carbohydrates, not simple carbohydrates. Complex carbohydrates are like quinoa, those whole grains. So those break down slower in our body and don't raise our blood sugar as fast. Then you want to be getting those healthy fats in to help balance your hormones, balance your blood sugar, and then of course we want protein. The healing foods don't come in a box. If you can't tell, I'm very passionate about eating whole foods and limiting the processed packaged foods at the grocery store. Once you sit down at your table and you have your beautiful plant-centric meal in front of you, but if you sit down and you're watching TV and you're taking 2 bites of your food and swallowing it, that's not going to be helpful. You're probably still going to be bloated. So here are some other things that I do to actually help me digest my food. About 5 to 10 minutes before I eat, I spray some digestive bitters on my tongue. These are bitter herbs that help wake up the digestive system, kind of sending them a warning signal that, hey, get prepared, get those enzymes going, get that stomach acid ready. We're gonna have to start digesting soon. That works really, really well for me. The other thing that I loved when I was healing my gut is taking digestive enzymes right before a meal. This helps break down my food. That was really helpful when I was in the healing process. Now I just need the bitters, and I chew my food really well. None of that like 100 times or 30 times BS. That just sounds gross, but I break down my food. Our saliva has enzymes in it that help break our food down before it even hits our stomach. So we need to be utilizing that because when our food is undigested, it moves through our intestines and it will become like fermented and cause more gas, more bloating, more constipation. I'm checking in with myself when I'm eating. Like, do I still want more food? Am I still hungry? Do I need seconds? Do I want, like, what do I want more of? What could I add to my plate? I want to make sure that I'm nourishing my body the way it needs to be nourished at that meal, and I'm being really mindful with how I'm doing that. Those are some really key ways that I healed my gut. They're really important to me, and I still do them to this day just to stay balanced and to keep myself in this really healthy, not bloated, not symptomatic place. Healing my gut really changed my life, and I'm so grateful that I get to help others every single day start eliminating their digestive symptoms as well.